Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl C Rain G, and I am so happy to be here discussing with you guys crop over. I always do famcation, which is essentially my Barbados travel vlog when I go back home in August for Grand Cadoument, but some of you guys are probably going to be heading out to crop over to Barbados to participate in Grand Cadoument and all of its festivities, and I wanted to make sure that you have everything that you need, all of your essentials for the road. You do not want to end up on the road. First thing first on my list that I want to make sure that you guys all understand is before you travel to any country for Carnival, you need to make sure that you understand the rules and the regulations inside of that country. So for example, I'm going to Barbados. I'm going back to Barbados. I'm trying to make my vlogs really cool for you guys. I was gonna buy a drone. I was gonna take a drone out there, but then come to find out, I'm looking it up on the internet, and you need essentially like a permit to be able to fly a drone in Barbados. So I looked it up. They also said that you needed $250,000 worth of insurance. So that whole idea of flying a drone in Barbados went completely out the window. The last thing that you want to do is invest your time into, researching flights, flying flights, your money, your resources, all of those kinds of things into getting to this island. And then what you do is you break a rule because you are not educated on the rules of the country, and then you end up locked up. You do not want that to happen. Look up the rules and regulations of the country that you are heading to before you head there to ensure that you are going to have a great time. When it comes to Carnival, no matter where you go, whether that's Trinidad, Notting Hill, Guyana, St. Vincent, Barbados, where I'm going, I think your health is your wealth, and you got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. So outside of just packing all of your normal stuff, which I'm not going to be going over in this video, if you want a separate packing video, let me know in the description box down below, and I will let you know what I'm packing with me to go to Barbados. But what you're definitely going to need if you're going to any of these places to play mass is you're going to need like a first aid or a survival kit. And I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill survival kit. So I've got a list here of items that I would put in my first aid kit, and let's just kind of run through them. So first thing, kind of standard, is going to be bandages. I always take bandages with me on every single one of my vacations. These are the kinds of items when you get to the Caribbean that I find to be quite expensive. You never know, your shoe could be rubbing, you have a blister, you need to put a bandage on it. I also usually take like liquid Band-Aid as well, waterproof version, of course, because of the humidity and the moisture in the air. You're gonna make sure that you're gonna get a good quality one. Whatever kind of pain medication that you take, Tylenol, Advil, whatever, you want to make sure that you're stocked up on that. You have that in your first aid kit. Another thing, let me tell you, Barbados, crop over, it is hot. When I say hot, I mean hot, okay? You need to be hydrating yourself. In addition to the fact that you're drinking so much during this period of time, and obviously alcohol dehydrates you, so one thing that I like to add to my water, and I have it every single morning when I'm in Barbados, it's ice, it's water, and then I put either like vitamin C, liquid electrolytes, or liquid IV into my water. This stuff is going to help push and hydrate your body outside of just like normal water. It's also really good when you get there to be drinking things like coconut water, which are, amazing, outside of just, your rum punch and things like that we all tend to love and enjoy. Make sure you're staying hydrated because dehydration is serious and can definitely knock you out and take you out for sure. Next on my list is lip balm. I cannot go anywhere without my lip balm. And when I say lip balm, I specifically mean a lip balm that has SPF in it. So I find that my lips, not only are, if they're dry, like in Calgary where I live, if it's dry and cold out, do my lips get chapped? But I also find that if when you tan or when you get burnt, my lips also tend to peel at that point in time. So outside of just putting sunscreen on your skin and on your face, we also want to make sure that we are protecting these luscious lips. So make sure that you get yourself a lip balm that has SPF in it. On the topic of SPF, this is another thing that I make sure that I have in my first aid kit. So not only do I take SPF down there with me, a couple of my favorites are going to be like the Supergoop for my face, and then I absolutely love the Neutrogena SPF for my skin. But what I do is I take a little Ziploc bag with me when I'm on the road, and I put that into like my pouch or my bag for when I'm on the road that has a little bit of SPF in it. It's just like a Ziploc bag. I squeeze some of the SPF in it because I find like my shoulders and like my face, so like the high points on my face will burn. I always burn. Okay, don't think that just because you got a little bit of melanin in your skin that you're not gonna burn. I absolutely burn and peel, and even with SPF, I do. So make sure you're taking that with you in your first aid kit for on the road. Now, if you overdo it on the liquid courage just a little bit too much, which I mean drinks just a little bit too much, then this is going to save your life. The best thing that you can do is take charcoal tablets. I always take charcoal tablets with me, or powdered charcoal with me on all of my trips. If I have a hangover, pop a charcoal tablet in a couple of hours, you're gonna feel great. Essentially what charcoal does is it pulls toxin out of your body. If you go to the hospital and you have like some kind of like a low level of poisoning, certain poisons need to have an antidote, but charcoal is great at pulling toxins out of your body. So alcohol is a toxin. So essentially, if you take the charcoal tablets, it helps you not have that hangover feeling. So I definitely just pop one of those, make sure I have enough for my trip, and you know, we're safe and we're sailing. Let's talk about road gear in terms of electronics. Now, of course, at home, I've got this beautiful setup. It's probably not really that beautiful because other people have really nice setups, but I've got this setup at home. I've got lights and things like that that make me look really good. Of course, I'm not taking lighting on the road. I'm actually not even going to be taking my camera on the road. I've never, ever taken a camera on the road. What I do is I make sure that I have a great tripod for my phone or a gimbal. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to use. This would be my first time that I would use my my gimbal. Sometimes I'm not so great with it, and I feel like I'm probably just going to do my selfie stick tripod that will fit into my pouch. If you're going to be doing Juve or anything like that, you also may want to consider taking some portable lighting with you, just because those events are done at nighttime, and you may need some extra lighting just to be able that just to be sure that you get those shots. You know, you capture all the whatlessness that be going on and all of that kind of stuff. And with electronics, you want to make sure that you have battery packs. So whether that's extra battery packs for your lighting, extra batteries for your phone, charging systems for your phone. These are all things that I consider when I'm taking on my electronics on the road with me, and also a reason why I choose not to actually take my camera with me, because one, that's another device. Two, I have to then also consider bringing battery packs with me for my camera as well, which just adds to the amount of things that I need to take with me on the road. And let me tell you, when I get on the road, I'm there to get on bad. I'm not there to worry about all of my tackle-ins and things like that, okay? So unfortunately, I have not seen my costume in person because I live in Canada, so I've only had the opportunity to see it online. But of course, you need all of the accessories to go with your costume. So, you know, if you're watching this video now and you're heading to CROPOVER in the next week or so, get your shoes, put them on your feet right now. You need to be walking around in your shoes. You need to break them in, because let me tell you, when you start that day at 6 o'clock in the morning and you end that day 8, 9 o'clock at night, and you're in those shoes all day, no matter what kind of shoes you're wearing, heels, runners, you know, boots, whatever you wear, you are going to be uncomfortable no matter what you wear. So break them in, make sure that you have a little bit of extra room in your Carnival shoes. From chipping, what can happen is as you're chipping on the road, you're kind of pushing your foot forward in your shoes and your sneakers. So I find that you kind of can bang the front of your toenails. So taking that into consideration, I usually buy my Carnival shoes in half size bigger, and then I actually put cotton in the front of my shoes so that when I'm banging, I'm actually not like banging my feet against something hard. So I'm gonna show you, and it's just a coincidence that my shirt is green today and my sneakers are also green. So I went ahead and I bought these sneakers they're from Steve Madden. They had a couple of different colors. They've already got sequins on them. They're lace up but just slip on, so I don't have to worry about like if the laces come undone, my shoes coming off. And of course, like I said, they got the sequins on them. So I'm hoping that these go really nicely with my costume when I actually see it in person. Now you guys know what color I'm going to be wearing for Carnival, so definitely check me out. I personally never, ever, ever wear heels on the road. Some girls, what they will do is for photographs, they'll wear heels and then they'll dash the heels away, and then the rest of the day they'll wear sneakers. Or if you're super brave, you could wear heels the whole time. You know, those are usually the girls that are on the truck or maybe just walking right in front of the truck and things like that. Me, I'm a road warrior. Me, I'm behind the truck, walking up stank, you know, up on the speakers, doing all kinds of wettlessness. So I have to be comfortable. I wear sneakers. I've also jumped in like Carnival boots in the past when I was younger, but now I'm more of a sneaker girl. So it just kind of depends on your costume and depends on what goes with your costume and whatever. You can figure it out. Okay. Next accessory that I always take with me on the road is a pair of sunglasses. And yes, I do buy a specific pair of sunglasses for the road. And the reason is that half of the time I lose these sunglasses. Half of the time I break these sunglasses. It just kind of depends. And then of course, Carnival is all about a vibe, all about a look. So I buy specific sunglasses that go with my Carnival outfit. So this year I have these green sunglasses that I am going to be wearing on the road. That hopefully, again, go with my costume and do provide me with a little bit of blockage for my eyes. The next accessory that I consider to be a must-have is going to be some form of nipple cover. So I bought these ones from Amazon. Unfortunately, these ones are a little bit too dark for my skin tone. I will still take these ones with me because if I'm wearing other items that you can't see through, or if my costume covers quite nicely, then I'll still wear this one. For me, it's just like a level of comfort that I like to wear them underneath of my costume, especially if you have a wire bra. You want to make sure that sometimes those wire bras can be like a little bit stiff, and when you look from the side, you may be able to kind of peek through, or if you bend over or certain things like that. Anyways, next item that is essential for me, but would absolutely be optional, is going to be a pair of nylons. So there are several ways that you can do this. One, you could go bare. Me, I feel like I need a buffer between me and the man I'm pushing it back on, okay? Whether that's my man or somebody else's man, me, I don't care. I need a little bit of a buffer between me and that individual. So I always wear nylons on the road. I also think that it makes your costume look super smooth and seamless, because the fishnet version that I wear, it gives like a blurring effect. I find that full nylons can also be nice, but so often I see girls with rips and runs in their nylons. This can also happen when you have like really big fishnet nylons. I find it easier to maintain my smaller nylons, and this also just depends on the quality of nylon that you decide to get. So if you're gonna wear nylons on the road and you want them to last the whole day, then just ensure that you're getting a quality nylon. There's tons of different nylons for you to choose from. So you can just do like a matte nylon, which will just give you a blurring effect. You could do a nylon that has like a gold thread through it, or you could do the nylons like the ones I have here that I actually picked up from Everything CROPOVER that have actual sequins on them. So if you guys can see, these ones have actual sequins on them. As you can tell, they're a little bit dark for my skin tone, but I'm going to Barbados a little bit earlier than CROPOVER. Like, I'm not gonna fly there and the only thing I'm gonna do is CROPOVER. So I am probably gonna get a little bit of a tan, and I feel like this color is gonna be perfect for me, as well as you're seeing it now in a condensed version. So when they stretch out, they are gonna be slightly lighter. Other thing that I absolutely love about these nylons, and you wanna consider, is you wanna make sure, one, if you're doing nylons, that they're sheer to the waist, meaning that they don't have that like control top short in them. Like, I would love a little bit of a control top, but we can't do it because you're gonna see that line. This one here, you can see that the waistband is super thin, which is absolutely great. And what I do is I actually just sew this on, and you'll have to watch the vlog because I don't have my costume here with me, or I don't have my costume yet at all, to be able to show you what I mean by sewing my nylons on to my costume. And that just makes sure that everything stays up. I'm not pulling things up or down during the day. And when I do pull one of them up, the other one goes up with it. So tons of options. And I will link everything that I purchased down below if it's still available, or at least some of my favorite stores to shop at for all of your Carnival needs. And then of course, you're also gonna want to take a bag with you on the road. There's tons of different bags options. Usually I'm doing something that's hands-free, so a crossbody bag or something that would attach to your leg. My costume this year has some body wear and leg pieces, so I'm actually just gonna do a crossbody bag. What I take with me on the road is my phone, battery pack, a tripod for vlogging, liquid IV or electrolyte, something like that. I also take bandages, Tylenol, of course lip balm, maybe a little bit of makeup to be touching up, and a small little bit of sunscreen for me to reapply onto my body as well. That's essentially what goes inside of my bag. As well as inside my bag, I will always, either on my phone, on my home screen, what I'll do is I'll put my mom's number, because she's always my emergency contact because she doesn't jump. She has in the past, but she's not jumping this year. I'll put my mom's contact information should anything happen to me, or if any of those items are lost. Here is a little bit of a bonus tip for all of you Carnival veterans. You know, when you go to the drinks truck, sometimes the music is so loud, they can't even hear you. And you're like sitting there and you're saying, Johnny Walker, coconut water, rum punch, or whatever, you're screaming and they can't hear you, and then you end up with a drink that you don't wanna have. At the start of the day, figure out what drinks you're gonna have, and then just kind of stick with those, because the same rules apply in Canada as they do in the Caribbean or at Carnival. Mixing is what makes you sick. If you just stick with like one type of alcohol for the whole day, then you should be good. But what I love to do is take it one step further, and prior to me departing, what I actually do at work, don't tell on me, is I go to the label maker and I go one dash, and then I'll put a drink like rum punch. Then I'll cut that, put that one aside. 2 dash, maybe this is rum and coconut water. Then I'll do 3 dash rum and Coke, 4 dash water, or whatever drinks I deciding that I'm gonna have. And I put those in my bag, and know that when I get my Carnival cup, I put those labels onto my cup. So when I go to the truck, all I have to be like is 4 and point to the labels that are on my cup, and they can just read it quickly and know exactly what I want. And I have reduced, I haven't eliminated, because sometimes they just be pouring whatever, but I have reduced the amount of potential error because of just a miscommunication. Okay, that is my bonus tip to all of you guys. Now, I did forget one thing that I always carry with me on the road, and it's actually something I carry with me everywhere I go in Barbados, and that is a mini fan. Like I told you, it be hot in Barbados during CROPOVER. Yes, it does rain, and when it rains, listen, most of us are like, oh, I hope it don't rain. I don't want it to mess up my hair. I don't want it to mess up my makeup, this, that, and the other thing. But let me tell you, when I'm on the road, I be praying for rain. I be praying for the rain to come. Yes, that rain is cool. Bajan rain is cool. It be pelting you. It's hard and it's cool. But when you're on the road, let me tell you, that rain feels so sweet. Okay? It feels so good when that rain comes down and it hits you just to cool down your body because it is so hot. Carnival is something that I feel like everybody should experience, whether that is you being in a band or you being on the sidelines. Maybe you start off on the sidelines and then you end up in a band, but Carnival is such a great time. But that experience can be ruined based off of the band that you choose. I have noticed that the quality of costumes has definitely gone down, as well as the quality of customer service. So I've been seeing things online where people are ordering costumes months in advance, and then when they get the costume, it doesn't look like what it looks like, or pieces are missing and things like that. So a piece of advice that I have for all of you guys when you are going is, one, find a reputable brand or band. The band is the brand. Find one that is super reputable in terms of like reviews and things like that and experiences to ensure that you are going to have a great time. A lot of people are traveling to countries like Barbados and Trinidad and Notting Hill and all of these different places to be able to play mass. So I find that it's a much easier process for people that are international nowadays than it has been in the past. You should expect that you should be putting down a 50% deposit on your costume approximately 6 to 8 months prior to Carnival. So for me, Barbados, knowing that Carnival is in August, I should be prepared to be putting down a 50% deposit on my costume approximately, February, 6 months in advance, or prior to that, depending on how early some of these bands launch. Now, the cost of costumes really ranges, and there's a ton of options that a lot of bands will have for you. You could be a backline baddie, or you could do a midline costume, or you could do a complete frontline costume. And trust me when I say I have done them all. And at the end of the day, I think that you have to experience that to understand what kind of Carnival experience you want to have. I actually really enjoy Carnival, like the jumping process, meeting people on the road, talking, dancing, getting on bad, getting on stink, all of that. I like that part of Carnival. So for me, doing a frontline costume that has all the feathers, and I'm gonna wear heels, and I'm there to look pretty and take pictures and be on the news and be in the newspaper and be on Instagram and all that is not me. Yes, I have model costumes in the past, but today when I actually go to play mass, those are usually not the costumes that I would be wearing. Trust me, once I get like 1 hour down the road, I want to get rid of half of that stuff because I just want to have a good time, and sometimes those items can be a little bit cumbersome. So for me, I find myself now doing like body wear only. That is where I find myself kind of thriving. I know that we're jumping all over the place a little bit in this video, but things are just coming to my mind as I'm talking. So what you'll usually do is you'll collect your costume. Some bands will have a date in which you have to pay the final deposit. Other bands will say upon collection you have to pay the final balance on your costume. Usually they'll also communicate with you when you can pick up your costume. Certain sections will be able to pick up before others. So just read the terms that the band has, and usually they're pretty good at letting you know. And if you just communicate with them that, you know, it's your first time or you need a little bit of information ahead of time. That would be great. Before you leave the band house, open up the box, open up the bag, and make sure all the pieces that you need for your costume are there, that nothing has holes in it, all of the sequins are there, things are even and nice before you leave the band house. Because once you leave the band house, I find that you usually have more problems with getting those problems rectified. So just make sure you open up your bag, open up your box, make sure everything looks good. You know, the quality's there with anything that you purchase. You should make sure that you take it, give it a once over before you leave, and we're all good and we head on the road. So on Carnival Day, yes, it can be a stressful day specifically for women. You get up very early. You probably were at a fete the prior night, the prior morning. I know a lot of the times on Kajumant Day, which is Monday, I have gotten home at 4 o'clock and then I have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:36 to start getting dressed. You may choose to get a makeup artist. Usually the makeup artist will house themselves inside of some of like the major hotels for you to go ahead and get your makeup done. I usually just do my makeup myself. We are all grown-ups here. I don't need to tell you to bathe, to wax, to put on deodorant, all of those kinds of things. Make sure you do all of that. In terms of makeup, go as minimal as you would like to go or go as elaborate as you would like to go. Depending on your skill level, again, you can hire a makeup artist. Now, in regards to hair, I have done it all. I've done ponytails, I've done hair down, I've done braids, I've done faux locks, I've done it all. But for me, any kind of protective style, like braids, faux locks, things like that, that if they do get wet, is the best. It's gonna rain, you're gonna get water thrown on you, things are gonna happen, and the best thing to do is not to be in a panic or a frenzy about how you look because your hair is starting to, you know, revert because of the heat, because of the sweat, because whatever. For me, the easiest thing is to have braids. These are old braids. I'm gonna be taking them out and getting my hair done when I'm in Barbados. So make sure you're following for the vlog because Barbados this year is going to be fire. I'm telling you, this is gonna be the best vlog yet, even without the drone, okay? That's what I take into consideration. How you do your hair is really up to you. But what I would definitely tell you guys to do is to take a look at your costume as a whole and then determine how you wanna do your hair. If you have a backpack, and when I say backpack, I mean like wings. If you've got feather wings and you've got like a crown that dangles down into your face, maybe you want your hair to be more up, providing with a little bit more height so you can see those feathers. If you don't have a crown, maybe you can do like pigtails or different things with your hair. Since my light died, that is my signal that it is time to go. I've been talking way too much. I hope that this video has helped you in preparing for whatever carnival experience that you are going to be having, whether it's your first time or your 100th time, I guarantee that you're gonna have a great time as long as you have these items for the road. Look in the description box down below, as well as I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be posting my Famcation family vlog that I do every single year. Of course, this is gonna be our first year on the road together here on my channel, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. But until next time, see ya!